Cristiano Ronaldo is the perfect footballer. He's a natural leader on the field with his inspiring runs, powerful strikes and uncanny ability to find the back of the net. Despite his tender age, he leads his club side, Manchester United, to victory on countless occasions with ease. Off the field, he is the ultimate marketing machine. His brilliant game style encourages the younger fans to mimic him in every way, from buying Cristiano Ronaldo boots to copying his hairstyle. Even fully grown men have been known to go weak at the knees upon brushing shoulders with the Portuguese prodigy. And let's not forget the fawning female fans who love to watch the baby-faced midfielder tear apart a trembling defence. So what is it about Ronaldo that has the football world in awe? Throughout this programme, we chart the young superstar's career and achievements to date. We check on his track record with clubs and fans and delve into the scandals that sometimes threaten to derail his brilliant career. Born on February the 5th, 1985 in Madeira, Portugal, the young football prodigy started showing glimpses of his raw talent at just 3 years of age. His passion and natural talent for the game were obvious, and at 12, Ronaldo went on a 3-day trial with Sporting Lisbon, who signed him for an undisclosed sum. At 16, Ronaldo started to blossom. His form in the UEFA Under-17 Championship drew him to the attention of the wider football world. In the summer of 2003, he caught the eye of Sir Alex Ferguson when Sporting beat Manchester United 3-1 in the inauguration of the Alvalade 21 Stadium in Lisbon. Demonstrating his ability to play on both wings, his performance in the match impressed the Manchester United players, who urged their manager to sign Ronaldo. By mid-August, Ronaldo had joined the English Premier League powerhouse for a transfer fee of €22.2 million. In a week that kept on improving for the boy who was named after Ronald Reagan, he made his international debut with Portugal on August the 20th, 2003 with a 1-0 win over Kazakhstan. With his awkward teenage years behind him, Ronaldo was beginning to make good on the incredible potential his coaches saw. For years, his skills had only revealed themselves in the stress-free environment of the training ground. But finally, Ronaldo was able to call upon them when he needed them most, in an international game. After a steady performance in his first senior match for Portugal, he was picked to play in Europe's most prestigious international tournament, the European Cup. Not only was this his first international tournament, it also offered him the thrill of playing to packed stadiums in his home country, which was hosting the tournament for the first time. In his first appearance and Portugal's first game of the tournament, Ronaldo rose to the challenge. When he got the better of the Greek defence to score a sizzling goal, the home crowd erupted, and despite eventually going down 2-1, Portugal had gained a young superstar with the confidence to play on the big stage, and Ronaldo had learned how to score in high-pressure situations, a lesson he has never forgotten. For the remainder of the tournament, he continued to impress. His confidence was on the rise, and he proved that he belonged. In Portugal's semi-final clash with the Netherlands, Ronaldo was able to step up and embrace the big occasion. Like a seasoned veteran, he scored his second goal of Euro 04 and helped set up a 2-1 win over the highly fancied Dutch team. Despite losing the final to the lesser-favoured Greece, Ronaldo had done more than enough to silence his critics. Still only 18 years of age, his career was well and truly on track. The difficult times at Sporting Lisbon were now a distant memory, and no doubt the boys that once teased him for his accent were now chanting his name and proudly boasting about their early associations. Ronaldo's international career went from strength to strength. After representing Portugal in the 2004 Summer Olympics, he went on to score a massive 7 goals in the World Cup qualifiers, the second highest in the European zone. In 2006, he faced the biggest challenge of his international career. The FIFA World Cup brought with it huge expectations for the first-timer. Although Portugal's squad boasted many other star players, many Portuguese fans placed their hopes of World Cup success on the shoulders of the young Ronaldo. Listed alongside other young superstars like Wayne Rooney and Lucas Podolski, Cristiano was tipped to win the Gillette Best Young Player Award. With the weight of so much expectation bearing down upon him, lesser players would have cracked, but Ronaldo seemed to thrive on the stress, and in Portugal's second group match against Iran, he scored his first World Cup goal from a penalty. In the round of 16, he was injured from a high tackle by Dutchman Khalid Boulahrouz. It was the end of his game, and many believed he would miss the remainder of the tournament. However, the young prodigy proved he was tough as well as talented by returning for Portugal's quarter-final clash with England. It was clear from the outset that Ronaldo was out to impress his Manchester United teammates. He seemed focused, and despite his injury, he looked likely to tear apart the English defence at any moment. After an entertaining first half with both sides missing opportunities, the game suddenly took a turn for the worse when Wayne Rooney was sent off for stamping on Ricardo Carvalho in the 62nd minute. Although not involved in the incident, there was much speculation among the British tabloids that Ronaldo had contributed to Rooney's red card by his constant and aggressive complaints to referee Horacio Elizondo. Adding fuel to the fire, television replays showed Ronaldo winking to the Portuguese bench after Rooney's dismissal. Many English fans strongly believe that Rooney's absence from the remainder of the match was a major factor in their early elimination from the 2006 World Cup. Eager to find a scapegoat, it was Ronaldo who bore the brunt of the English fans' frustration at yet another disappointing World Cup campaign. To fan the flames, The Sun published a picture of a dartboard with Ronaldo as the bullseye, which harked back to a similar image of David Beckham that appeared in a Daily Mirror in the wake of the 1998 World Cup. Not surprisingly, the aggression of the English fans towards Ronaldo raised doubts about his future with Man United. In fact, he told supporters that he was keen to move on, as he felt the circumstances were not right to keep playing there. To make matters worse, in Portugal's semi-final clash against France, Ronaldo was booed and harassed by French fans who had jumped on the England bandwagon. Despite this, his Portuguese fans and fellow teammates were behind Ronaldo every step of the way.
Não, acho que tem que haver sempre algum bode expiatório.
His Portuguese teammate Ricardo spoke to the press about Ronaldo's controversial World Cup incident and commented that people always look for a scapegoat.
O árbitro viu foi e porque os árbitros estão atentos a quem tem por vezes.
However, he didn't believe it was right to blame the referee. It was a clear red card, and that's how he saw it.
Maldade, mas se calhar de algum excesso de violência. E o árbitro viu aquilo que se passou e expulsou.
With his mind made up, it took some persuasive words from Sir Alex Ferguson and Man United assistant manager Carlos Queiroz, as well as a heartfelt plea from Wayne Rooney to keep Cristiano Ronaldo from deserting the Red Devils. That, however, wasn't to be the end of the incident. Just to twist the knife a little deeper, England fans mounted an email campaign against Ronaldo, and despite playing brilliantly throughout the tournament, he failed to win the FIFA Best Young Player Award. Ultimately, it was Lucas Podolski who took out the honours, and although no one disputes that the German had a fantastic tournament, even Podolski had to admit he wouldn't have won the award if it had not been for the controversy over Wayne Rooney's red card. Losing such a prestigious honour over an incident where there was little to no evidence to support the claims of either party may have seemed a high price to pay. However, Ronaldo was no doubt consoled and comforted by the more experienced players around him, such as his hero, former World Player of the Year and Portuguese teammate Luís Figo. Figo, who is now coming towards the end of his football career, is the perfect role model or mentor for the young Ronaldo. Playing a similar game off the right wing, his inspiring contribution to the game has seldom been marred by controversy. Often compared to the great Eusebio, Figo is renowned for being a gentleman both on and off the field, and his career path provides a shining example for younger players like Ronaldo to follow. Adored by the young and the elderly alike, Figo got his break at Sporting Club de Portugal at the age of 17. At 18, he played his first game for the national side. However, unlike the freakishly talented Ronaldo, Figo didn't hit the big time until his mid-20s when he joined FC Barcelona in 1995. After a dazzling performance in Euro '96, he suddenly went from a gifted player with great potential to one of the best playmakers in the world. His time at Barcelona saw him win the respect of many fans, teammates and opposing players with his work ethic, calm demeanour and humble nature. Whilst with Barcelona, Figo won a UEFA Cup Winners' Cup in 1996-97 and back-to-back Primera Division titles. He went on to appear 172 times for the Blaugrana, scoring a total of 30 goals. Figo's fabulous run at Camp Nou also won him the admiration of the industry's top movers and shakers. One of his biggest fans was Sir Alex Ferguson, who was allegedly tempted to bring him across to Manchester United before Euro 2000 in a swap deal with David Beckham. However, Sir Alex wasn't the only manager who had designs on Figo. Barcelona's bitter rivals Real Madrid also had their eye on him, much to the disgust of the Barcelona fans who would rather see one of their players in a pine box than playing for the opposition. In the end, it took a record transfer bid by then Real president Florentino Perez of £38.7 million to secure the services of the talented right-winger. While both clubs were happy with the move, the Barcelona fans were far from overjoyed to see their number one player, the heart and soul of their club, make a pact with the devil Perez. In fact, when he returned to Camp Nou in the white strip of Real Madrid, a study by a television station found that the decibels generated by the crowd's whistles and jeers were louder than an aeroplane taking off. All these distractions failed to put Figo off his game. His ability to stay focused marked him out as a true champion, and to rub salt into Barcelona's bleeding wounds, he went on to win the European Player of the Year in 2000, and then FIFA World Player of the Year in 2001. While he was with Real Madrid, Figo won the La Liga on 2 occasions, as well as topping the UEFA Champions League in 2002. Currently playing for Inter Milan, the inspiring footballer continues to impress, even in his twilight years. Although he hasn't won any international titles, Figo wore his national colours with pride and captained his side to an impressive 4th in the 2006 FIFA World Cup, his last international tournament. More recently, it could be argued that Figo's cool head and priceless experience were costly omissions in Portugal's campaign to win Euro 2008. The younger Ronaldo went into the tournament with a huge cloud over his head. The cloud had nothing to do with bad form or injury, nor had he upset anyone with questionable on-field tactics. Instead, he had become the centre of speculation about a possible transfer. The soccer world was abuzz with rumours that the young star was about to leave Manchester United and move to Real Madrid for a record transfer fee. Determined not to let all the talk interfere with his playing at the tournament, Ronaldo decided not to make any announcement until after the competition. It's all clarified. I'll say for the last time for everybody to understand. I said in the airport to your colleagues too, in 2 or 3 weeks there will be more news. For now, it's not worth talking about. Portugal went into Euro 2008 as one of the tournament favourites, thanks to Ronaldo's scorching form for Manchester United during the previous season. Comfortably winning through to the quarter-finals after losing just 1 game to Switzerland in a dead rubber, fans were quietly optimistic when Portugal squared up to international powerhouse Germany.
The ball is round for all teams during 90 minutes, so anything can happen.
People can say that Portugal are favourites, but at the moment, not for me. We are in the right path, but it now depends on what is going to happen in the second stage. If we win the next 2 matches, we will reach the final. Despite trying to ignore the mounting pressure from the media regarding his possible transfer, Ronaldo never quite got on top of his game, finding the back of the net only once throughout the tournament. Perhaps if Figo had been on the team, Ronaldo would have found enough stability and inspiration in his mentorship to kick his way out of the doldrums. As it was, there was no escaping the fact that the 23-year-old prodigy had plenty to think about. No doubt he was spending lots of time reflecting on how much his life had changed in the 5 years since he signed with Manchester United. Just over halfway through 2003, an 18-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo signed a document that would inevitably propel him into the international spotlight. With one swift movement of his pen, he went from playing for one of the best teams in his home country to become a star player for one of the most celebrated club sides in the world. His transfer fee of €22 million, or approximately £12 million, is a figure normally associated with the signing of a top-flight footballer who has already established themselves on the world scene. To put the fee into context, it's interesting to note that England international Michael Owen, who'd won the Ballon d'Or and been the EPL's top goalscorer, only attracted a transfer sum of £8 million on his move from Liverpool to Real Madrid. Despite the fact that Ronaldo had played well in his home league, near family and friends, he had yet to prove his worth in a foreign environment. Paying a fortune for the teenager was clearly a big gamble for Sir Alex Ferguson and his Red Devils. Not surprisingly, many Man U supporters were up in arms when they heard that their beloved club had forked out so much for an untested player. Luckily for Ronaldo, his new teammates, who were in awe of his natural talent, were fully behind the transfer. With the hype surrounding Cristiano increasing and other big clubs starting to sniff around the youngster, Sir Alex swooped and clinched the deal. Sporting Lisbon weren't the only ones who benefited financially from the costly transfer. Ronaldo himself came out of the transaction very well. His weekly pay packet increased dramatically from a respectable £220 at Sporting to £22,000 at United. In short, he was now earning in 1 week what it used to take him nearly 2 years to make. Quite a decent pay rise for someone who still couldn't legally drink alcohol in many countries. In a classic case of out with the old, in with the new, Ronaldo's signing coincided with the departure of one of Manchester United's brightest stars, and there was no hiding the fact that the management and coaching staff expected Ronaldo to plug the gaping hole in the Manchester United firmament left by David Beckham. On his arrival at Old Trafford, Ronaldo modestly requested the number 28 shirt. When he was instead handed the coveted number 7 shirt, he knew beyond any doubt that he had enormous shoes to fill. The number 7 had been worn by the likes of George Best and his direct predecessor, David Beckham. Far from being intimidated, however, Ronaldo saw the honour as fuel for motivation, despite knowing that the expectations of the doubting Manchester United fans would be difficult to live up to. David Beckham had been seen by fans as a Man U institution. For many, his departure from the club would have been greeted with as much disgust as Luis Figo's desertion of Barcelona in 2000. Beck's epic career at Old Trafford began after he was signed as a trainee on July 8, 1991. At that time, neither he nor the fans had any idea of what lay in store for the 16-year-old. A mad Manchester United supporter as a child, Beckham's dream to play alongside some of his childhood heroes came true when he came on as a substitute for André Canchelsis in 1992. The game against Brighton marked Beckham's debut as a United player. However, unlike Cristiano Ronaldo, Beckham wasn't signed straight away. He had to wait until January of 1993 to be signed as a professional Man U player. This signing led to a frustrating few years for the future England captain. He had to wait until experienced players like Paul Ince, Mark Hughes and Andre Canchelsis left the club before he was given a decent opportunity with the senior squad. It was during the 1995-96 season that Becks became a regular player on the team and helped them to win the Premiership and FA Cup double, scoring the winning goal in the semi-final against Chelsea and also providing the corner that fed Eric Cantona's goal in the FA Cup final. The following season saw Beckham wear the number 10 shirt, but not for long. When the king of Old Trafford, Eric Cantona, retired from football in May 1997, he was handed the coveted number 7. Like the young Ronaldo, Beckham's acquisition of the number 7 shirt was met with grumbling disapproval by many of the club's fans. Despite the rumblings, Beckham's football skills and profile continued to improve at a lightning pace. In the 1998-99 season, he was part of the United team that took out the holy trinity of the Premier League, FA Cup and Champions League, a unique feat in English football. However, it was Beckham's red card in the 1998 World Cup that stole most of the headlines for that year. Like Cristiano Ronaldo in 2006, Beckham's 1998 World Cup campaign was shrouded with controversy. Many supporters and journalists blamed Beckham for England's elimination from the World Cup, even though he had clearly been a victim of a poor refereeing decision. To make matters worse, Beckham also received death threats after the World Cup, and rumours started to speculate that he would have to move overseas to continue his football career. To his and his family's credit, Beck stayed strong and played for nearly another 5 years with his much-loved Manchester United. During his time with Man U, he made 265 Premier League appearances for United and scored 61 goals. He also made 81 Champions League appearances, scoring 15 goals. Beckham won 6 Premiership titles, 2 FA Cups, 1 European Cup, 1 Intercontinental Cup, and 1 FA Youth Cup in the space of 12 years. Ultimately, it was Beckham's ever-increasing fame outside the game that led to his transfer to Real Madrid on July 1st, 2003. The rumour mill suggested that Sir Alex grew tired of Beckham's inability to commit 100% to his football, and as tension grew between the two, they both agreed a transfer was the best solution. Despite his dislike for Beckham's extracurricular activities, Alex Ferguson would no doubt miss the attention that he had brought to Man United. Recognised as the most marketable sportsperson on the planet, Beckham did a lot more for the Red Devils than just play football. There was his global profile and the sheer revenue that the Beckham brand brings to anything it attaches its name to. With Beckham on board, the club could count on crowd numbers, merchandise sales, and even television ratings to skyrocket. And that kind of value is worth paying the big bucks for, whether or not he can kick a ball. His popularity around the world is unsurpassed. This enabled his club side to market itself to areas of the globe that they'd never been able to reach in the past. His rock star following throughout Asia is a multi-million-dollar industry in itself. Obsessed Japanese and Chinese fans will buy almost anything bearing their beloved Beckham's face or name. In early 2008, a Chinese manufacturer named a range of condoms after the soccer superstar. According to the brand's marketing spiel, buying a packet of these condoms will enable users to score in the bedroom like Becks does on the pitch. Even without securing David Beckham's permission to use his name, the condom is now the market bestseller in China. The magnitude of the Beckham phenomenon sweeping across Asia persuaded mobile phone manufacturer Motorola to jump on board the bandwagon and become a major sponsor. Having seen what Beckham did for former sponsor Vodafone's profile, Motorola hoped its new star would help it make a similar impression on the market. Motorola joined the likes of Adidas, Coty, Emporio Armani, Police, Sharpie and Pepsi as products that Beck's currently endorses. At just 18 years of age, Cristiano Ronaldo was handed the responsibility of filling the void that Beckham had left, not just on the pitch, but off the field as well. With Beck's out of the picture, merchandise sales were bound to decrease. Sir Alex Ferguson's Manchester United needed to provide the fans with a new hero, and quickly, otherwise the super club would be facing a serious drop in income. Ronaldo's first job was to win the faith of the sceptical Man U fans. The pressure to come up with the goods was intense. Wearing the number worn by past greats like George Best, Eric Cantona, and more recently David Beckham, the fans' expectations of Ronaldo were higher than any first gamer could imagine. He got his first opportunity to ease the nerves and show his new teammates and fans what he could do against Bolton 2 weeks after his signing. Ronaldo wasted little time in showing off his sublime skills with a stunning 30-minute debut that saw the young Portuguese prodigy dazzle the Bolton defence and please the home crowd with a 4-0 victory. After 39 appearances and 8 brilliant goals, including the opener in the FA Cup final win over Millwall, he was named the Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year for 2003-04. The Matt Busby Award is presented to the best Manchester United player of the season, as voted for by the fans. And in his very first season of EPL football, Ronaldo had managed to win the hearts and admiration of the fans, who 12 months earlier were doubting his untried talent. Ronaldo surpassed all expectations, and a star was born. Unfortunately, his second year at the club did not live up to his all-conquering first season. However, it wasn't all second-year blues for the new star. Timely late-season form saw him end the season with 9 goals in 50 appearances, a respectable return for a midfielder. In 2005-06, Ronnie again reserved his best form for the latter half of the season. However, it was during this season that he tested his ties with his new club and teammates. In true number 7 form and following in the footsteps of George, Eric and David, Ronaldo was faced with a scandal that saw many of his fans quickly turn against him. The incident with teammate Wayne Rooney in the 2006 World Cup left Ronaldo feeling alone and possibly homesick for the first time since arriving at Manchester United. His first 2 seasons had been a dream, the perfect start for a new player. The World Cup debacle ended that fairy tale, and his dream quickly turned into a nightmare. Ronaldo was left with a big decision to make. Should he stay and face the fans who had been taunting and abusing him over the incident, or should he leave England and play for another club? His World Cup form had aroused the interest of many big European clubs, who saw the potential of the best young player in the world to lead their side for years to come. However, whether he was swayed by the implorings of the coaching staff, Wayne Rooney's heartfelt apology, or the mystic power of the number 7, Ronaldo opted to face his fears and play on at Old Trafford. His bravery was rewarded when, upon returning to his home ground, Manchester United fans chanted, "There's only one Ronaldo," during a 5-1 win over Fulham. In the wake of the World Cup incident, Ronaldo seemed to change up a gear and add an extra dimension to his already impressive game. Only months after returning, he received back-to-back Barclays Player of the Month honours, becoming only the 3rd player in the Premier League history to do so, after Dennis Bergkamp in 1997 and Robbie Fowler in 1996. In that same amazingly eventful year, Ronnie scored his 50th career goal for Manchester United against local rivals Manchester City, as United claimed their first Premier League title in 4 years. United's title success was ultimately a team effort, but one player was central to almost every major victory. The title campaign began with the devastating 5-1 win over Fulham, with Ronaldo and Rooney running the show and very publicly dismissing claims that the two were at odds. Dazzling wing play was backed with regular assists and crucial goals, including 7 in 5 games over Christmas. Ronaldo had taken the next step. Not only was his brilliant season duly noted by his fans and the club, his performances on field won him the recognition of football followers all over the world. In that single year, he claimed 8 awards, including the Professional Footballers Association Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, and Fans Player of the Year, as well as the Barclays Player of the Season. He also claimed his second Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year and made 2 All-Star teams. In response to his blistering form and the persistent transfer rumours, Manchester United management were keen to re-sign Ronaldo for a contract extension. Although it was alleged that Man U offered Ronnie an unprecedented £54 million 5-year deal, Ronaldo finally signed a 5-year £120,000 per week extension with United on April 13, making him the highest paid player in team history. After a season that had surpassed all expectations, could Ronaldo match, let alone better, such form? At 21, Ronaldo was now full of confidence. His quick speed, gravity-defying ball control and explosive strikes mesmerised, penetrated and embarrassed opposing defenders on countless occasions. The 2006-07 season was just a warm-up for Ronaldo. In 2007-08, he wanted to make a statement, not only to EPL players, but all players around the world. Ronaldo was on a mission to claim the title as the #1 footballer on the planet, and believed that he could lead Man U through yet another winning season.
I'm very confident. I think the team now is more stronger, and we have a great chance to win not just the Premier League but Champions League as well. Okay? Cheers.
A trip home mid-season to play at his old club seemed to spur him on even more. He was keen to impress his old teammates, and winning was on his mind. It's good for me to see some of my friends and colleagues, to return to a club where I played for many years. Clearly, it's always special. I think the game will be normal. Of course, I will play with the aim of winning, because these are the colours that I have worn for 5 years, and of course, I think the team will enter the match very well, respecting the opponent. I think Sporting has a good team, but I believe Manchester is better, and we will do our best to clinch the victory. I'm very happy to be here. I think I will be well received. I hope things go well and people from both sides can enjoy a good game. The trip down memory lane reminded Ronaldo how far he had come in such a short time, and on returning to the EPL, he played inspired football. Ronaldo scored his first hat-trick for Manchester United in a 6-0 win against Newcastle United at Old Trafford in January 2008, bringing Manchester United up to the top of the Premier League table. He scored his 23rd league goal of the season in a 2-0 win against Reading, equalling his entire total for the 2006-07 season, with still half of the 2007-08 season remaining. His explosive form befuddled defenders, and plans on how to stop or contain him became a regular topic in changing rooms and at press conferences. Italian defender Paolo Maldini discussed some of the tactics he would use to stop Ronaldo. In any case, it isn't really an issue because we don't man mark. We have a different way of marking. Obviously, Ronaldo is someone who moves around a lot, so we will mark him zonally and he'll be picked up by whoever's close to him. So to a certain extent, he will decide who marks him, depending on which areas of the pitch he goes into. Anyway, I'm still pretty fast. Maybe not as fast as I used to be, but I can still get around. On March 19, 2008, Ronaldo captained the team for the very first time in a home win over Bolton, even scoring both goals in the 2-0 victory. The first of the goals was his 33rd of the campaign, which set a new club single-season scoring record by a midfielder. Ronaldo had transformed himself from a threatening winger who scored on the odd occasion to a goal-kicking machine who could outscore the strikers. In the first leg of the 2007-08 Champions League semi-final against Barcelona, Ronaldo made all the difference, despite missing a crucial penalty. Sir Alex was more than pleased with his performance.
Maybe asking Wayne Rooney to play a different position and also Jason Park a different type of role from he normally does, put an onus on us more to the defence and the attack. Because I thought in Ronaldo we had the player who could win the match. He was an absolute threat the whole night for us, and I think that if we'd have got the better support from him, I think we would have won.
Ronaldo waxed fatalistic about the missed penalty.
Well, it's not the problem. Sometimes you score, sometimes you miss. I missed today, no problem. If you have a second opportunity in Manchester, if you have a penalty, I try to score again. Well, the football is like that. Sometimes you miss, sometimes you score. Not a problem.
In the 2007-08 Champions League final against league rivals Chelsea, Cristiano Ronaldo scored the opening goal after 26 minutes. Less than 20 minutes later, Chelsea equalised and the match ended 1-1 after extra time. Ronaldo, who is usually deadly from the penalty spot, missed again during the penalty shootout and put Chelsea in a position to win the trophy. Fortunately, John Terry shot wide after slipping on the pitch's surface, and Manchester United emerged victorious 6-5 on penalties. Ronaldo was named the UEFA Fans Man of the Match and wrapped up the campaign with a career high of 42 goals in all competitions, falling just too short of Ruud van Nistelrooy's team record mark of 44 in 2002-03. Consequently, Ronaldo finished the season with another huge trophy haul, winning the PFA Players Player of the Season, Fans Player of the Season, and the Barclays Player of the Season for the second year running. He also managed his third Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year, as well as winning the Barclays Golden Boot, the UEFA Champions League top scorer, and the European Golden Shoe for finishing with the highest amount of goals scored by a European player in club football. He had also topped the single-season record of 32 goals by a midfielder that had been held for 40 years by a player who shared some striking similarities with Ronaldo. Like Ronaldo, George Best was a football prodigy. He burst onto the scene in the late 60s and took the world by storm with his explosive speed, mesmerising ball control and ability to score goals from either foot. Playing as a winger, Best, like Ronaldo, scored just as many goals as he set up, redefining the role of the midfielder and making it almost impossible to play on. Along with football legend Bobby Charlton, it was Best who rebuilt the Man United side after the tragic Munich air disaster on February the 6th, 1958. When scout Bob Bishop discovered him as a 15-year-old, his telegram to Matt Busby, then manager of Manchester United, read simply, "I think I've found you a genius." Best debuted for Manchester United in 1963, and his footballing skills and on-field delivery were never called into question. Unfortunately, however, it was what Best got up to off the pitch that started raising serious doubts. Perhaps there were just too many distractions. A year after he signed with Man U, the BBC launched a weekly TV programme called Match of the Day. And unlike earlier champions, whose celebrity had been confined to pictures in the papers, Best's goals and good looks were broadcast to millions. Television made him football's first superstar. He was sought after for everything from appearances on Top of the Pops to this charity match against a team of models. Best became known for playing as hard off the pitch as he did on. His partying ways hit the headlines and he lapped up the attention. Despite his rock star celebrity, he continued to play well on the pitch. Well, at least at first. In the 1967-68 season, Best helped his club side win the European Cup at Wembley Stadium, scoring in their 4-1 demolition of Benfica. Best was also named the 1968 European Footballer of the Year at just 22 years of age. Demonstrating the same sort of prodigious talent that Ronaldo shows today, Best had the world at his feet, and his career could have gone through the roof. Unfortunately, it was all downhill from then on. The steady decline of his interest in football coincided with his increasing commitment to partying, and before he knew it, he was no longer the best. At 26, just 4 years after that famous night at Wembley, he decided to leave Manchester United. Although he tried to make comebacks, George Best's serious playing years were behind him. After battling with alcoholism most of his life, he sadly lost his battle in 2005. He died aged 59. George Best's famous fall from grace has served as an effective warning to many players who have had fame and fortune thrust upon them at a young age. While Ronaldo has so far managed to keep a grip on his footballing career, he does share some of George Best's off-field traits. His career is still in its early stages, but already Ronaldo has been at the centre of plenty of controversy, both on and off the field. Almost before his career had begun, his signing with CD Nacional was the subject of dispute, and no doubt would have made headlines in the local newspapers. With two clubs eager to sign Ronaldo, who was only 11 at the time, the larger club, Maritimo, missed an important meeting with Ronnie's manager and consequently lost their opportunity to sign him. To this day, Maritimo must look back on their missed opportunity with a sick feeling in their stomachs. Ronaldo went on to make international headlines when he crossed boots with fellow teammate Wayne Rooney at the 2006 FIFA World Cup. This public display of disagreement created not only trouble for Ronaldo back in England, it also kick-started rumbles that the right-winger would leave Man United. Although the rumours were squashed by management and Ronaldo's return to Old Trafford, the whisperings about a potential transfer have never gone away. Most recently, the speculation has centred around a possible move to Real Madrid, following in the footsteps of former Man U number 7 David Beckham. Enormous transfer figures have been thrown around by the members of the media, who've made the reasonable assumption that Real would need to part with a record sum of cash to secure the services of the world's best attacking midfielder. Real, now in redevelopment in the wake of the Galacticos' days of the early to mid-2000s, are in desperate need of a marquee player with the skills and pulling power of a Cristiano Ronaldo, having lost 3 talented midfielders in quick succession to other clubs and retirement. Although the departure of David Beckham would have been sorely felt at the merchandise stands, it is Luis Figo and Zinedine Zidane who have left the largest holes in the super club's starting lineup. Zidane, who retired just before the 2006 World Cup, was winner of the FIFA World Player of the Year award on 3 occasions. He had become the heart and soul of Real Madrid, and it was his playmaking that had set up the majority of goals during his 5-year tenure with the club. If there were one player who could hope to fill the shoes of the formidable Zidane, it would surely be Cristiano Ronaldo. While Zidane believes that Real would have no trouble in coming up with the money to buy Ronaldo, he says that the decision on where he plays football will ultimately fall to Ronaldo himself. I think he's had a superb season. He won the Championship and the Champions League. I think he stopped at the quarter-finals of Euro 2008 because facing him was a great German team who caused them a lot of problems. It doesn't take anything away from the success that he's had all year. I think he's not far away from winning the Ballon d'Or, and it would be deserved. As for his transfer to Real Madrid, Real would not be frightened of paying a large sum of money because every time in the past when they have wanted a player, they have managed to bring him to Madrid. Obviously, it will be up to the player. If he wants to go, one day or another, he will be at Real Madrid. In 2007-08, Ronaldo scored 42 times from 48 appearances with Man U and set up countless other goals for his teammates. His lightning turn of speed can easily pierce any opposing defence, and combined with his perfect vision, extraordinary imagination and blistering strikes, it's no wonder that Real are keen to see Ronaldo dressed in the all-whites. After Euro 2008, Ronaldo, who was recovering from ankle surgery, was open about the possibility of a transfer. We'll see what happens in the next few days. I enjoyed reading Blatter's words. I can't clear out anything else. Now I just need to recover well. When questioned about his injured ankle, he added, "I don't think the injury will have any influence on going to Real Madrid or staying with Manchester United." Despite the media circus surrounding the young Portuguese winger, national coach Luís Filipe Scolari was confident that the extra attention wouldn't affect his game. We are here to support him, no matter what he will decide in the future. He will always be with us. He will always be one of us. With his quality on the pitch and his behaviour off the pitch, you can rest assured Ronaldo will do a great tournament. He doesn't have any personal problems, especially regarding club transfers, to keep him awake at night. Manchester United, who have already lost a few players to Spanish clubs, need to stay on top of their game if they hope to hold on to their #1 star. But how much is he really worth to them? There are no doubts about Ronaldo's recent form on field. As the perpetrator of every defender's worst nightmare, he remains unstoppable. However, off the field, Ronaldo is starting to show a few chinks in his armour. Of course, there is nothing wrong with enjoying a few drinks with friends after a hard day's work, but Ronnie has been known to take it that one step further. Consequently, he has found himself mixed up in some rather unsavoury scandals, much to the delight of the British gutter press. News of the World, an English tabloid renowned for its sensationalist reporting style, labelled the Manchester United player a prostitute-loving soccer ace after an alleged sleazy rendezvous with 2 call girls in Rome. Since being cleared of rape in 2005, the Portuguese winger has consistently found himself in sticky situations off the field. After a win against EPL side Aston Villa in late April of 2008, Ronaldo found himself in hot water again after flying to Rome for a night out. While he was there, he supposedly took a trip to the city's seedy red light district, where he arranged for 2 female escorts to come back with him to his hotel. According to the News of the World, Ronaldo and an unknown friend made the most of their time in Rome. They began their big night out at the notorious Diva Futura Channel Club, where they allegedly indulged in several £120 bottles of champagne, £16 beers, as well as the odd private lap dance. This incident was not entirely out of character for the Manchester United winger. Just 4 months earlier, Ronaldo had been linked to a wild party where 5 prostitutes were hired to entertain him and his Portuguese teammate Nani and Brazilian colleague Anderson. The women involved were keen to sell their story to the English tabloids after their unforgettable night with 3 young soccer superstars. The most recent scandal was not only met with disapproval by his girlfriend, It also raised the hackles of manager Alex Ferguson, whose beloved Man U pride themselves on being a family-orientated club with morals. Not surprisingly, speculation about Ronaldo's potential transfer to Spanish super club Real Madrid gathered renewed momentum in the wake of this latest scandal. If he stays at United, Sir Alex will be keeping a firm grip on the wayward young star and setting him straight as he did with Wayne Rooney after a similar incident in late 2006. No doubt he'll be reminding Ronaldo that he needs to find a way to keep his private life private and keep his focus on his first love, football. If not, he could be destined to follow in the footsteps of other fallen greats like George Best or Diego Maradona. With his whole career in front of him, the future looks bright for Cristiano Ronaldo. Still in his mid-20s, he is yet to reach the pinnacle of his footballing potential. There is no doubt in anyone's mind that he has the makings of a soccer legend. However, the decisions he makes now will be crucial in determining just how great a player he will ultimately become. A transfer to another club is likely, as very few players play out their whole career at the one club, and a change of scenery often injects a timely shot of adrenaline into a stagnating career. Already breaking records in the EPL and Europe, the first and most important decision Ronaldo needs to make is what he wants from the game. If he is happy with being labelled a great player while still being able to enjoy the off-field perks of his superstar status, then he may take a similar path to the likes of Best and Maradona. But if he truly wants to be the best, he will need to look to more positive role models for inspiration. If he follows in the footsteps of Luis Figo or Zinedine Zidane, there are no limits to what Ronaldo could achieve. In the eyes of some of the game's most knowledgeable insiders, he is already well on his way to becoming one of the greatest footballers of all time.